Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Larae, and I make videos about my life as well as my journey to medical laboratory science. Today I'll be talking about my application process. Now, although it varies greatly depending upon the program you're applying to, I more so just want to give you an idea of what to expect in case you're interested in applying. The programs tend to be highly competitive, mainly because the class sizes are small and there is very limited clinical rotation space. I'm here to help you get a picture of what it takes to get through competitive selection for medical laboratory school. The first step I did was research the career. So I went and found a lot of information about the field of clinical laboratory science, and just so you know, many people will interchangeably use the terms clinical laboratory science, medical laboratory science, and the actual job title will be medical technologist. So while also looking at what the career entailed, I also found my interest, which is clinical microbiology. Next, I narrowed down the programs I wanted to apply to. If you are in the midst of doing this, I suggest that you first take into consideration the program type, and if you want to become a generalist or a specialist. Also, look at the program format. So are the lectures and clinical lab rotations separated or are they integrated together? For me, I didn't have a preference for this, but my program is considered separate. So I have 3 semesters of lectures followed by 2 semesters of clinical rotations. Also, look at the cost of tuition, the location, and the length of time it will take to complete the program. You can also look at retention rates, graduation rates, board exam pass rates, and even the amount of students that found a job upon graduation. The programs I had on my list to apply to all have this information somewhere on their program website. The application requirements will vary greatly depending upon the program type you are applying to. So I will speak on what my application looked like just to give you an idea of what you may expect. All of my prereqs were done while I was completing my Bachelor's of Science in Biology. As far as the science and math prereqs that I had to take, for math I took college algebra, pre-calculus, and statistics. For chemistry, I took Principles of Chem 1 and 2, Organic Chem 1, and Biochem. For biology, I took Principles of Biology 1 and 2, Human Anatomy and Physiology 1 and 2, and Microbiology. And like I said, I have a biology degree, which allowed me to focus all of my undergrad coursework in microbiology. So I took Human Pathophysiology and Pharmacology 1 and 2, Comparative Physiology, Medical Microbiology, Bacterial Pathogenesis, Medical Mycology, and Emerging Pathogens. They were not required, but I had to take them to satisfy my biology degree. So technically they were required for me, but they were not required for acceptance into a lab program. If you still have not mapped out when you will take the prereqs, I have 2 things to consider. The first is that prerequisites have sequences. So courses like Principles of Chem or Principles of Biology or Anatomy and Physiology are 2 semesters. So in theory, it's a year of chemistry, a year of biology, and a year of anatomy, but you can shorten that time by taking summer courses. Also, your main prereq may have another prereq, and each university will have different expectations for that. For example, at my school, I had to make a minimum B in biology 1 and 2 and the labs to get a seat into A&P 1. And then from there, I had to make a B in A&P 1 to get a seat into A&P 2. Same thing for my chemistry prereqs. I had to make a minimum B in Chem 1 and 2 and the labs in order to get a seat in the upper level chemistry courses like OChem 1 and Biochem. I like this requirement just because it pushed me to strive for A's, and it helped me with keeping my GPA in a competitive range since my program required a minimum 3.0 or better. So if you are mapping out your courses, don't forget to consider course sequences as well as course prerequisites when you are figuring out how you'll go about accomplishing all of the required courses for the lab program. And I mean, the prereqs literally all depend on what your program faculty wants you to understand before you begin their program. So some programs do not require you to take half the courses I listed. Some may want you to take even more, specifically physics and calculus and genetics and even analytical chemistry, which I didn't have to take any of that for my program, but I seen it when I was looking at other programs, and of course I crossed them off my list with the quickness. I'll remember the minimum GPA requirement for your program and strive to make at least a C or above in all prereqs so that you can be considered for competitive selection. Now, I had to submit a full personal application packet, which consisted of my official transcripts, 2 letters of recommendations from my previous professors. I also had to put together my academic resume, which included my jobs in undergrad, all of my leadership positions in my Greek org chapter, my clubs and intramural sports, and all of my honor societies, scholarships, awards, and etc. all that. And lastly, my personal statement. So I explained my career goals, why I wanted to go into clinical laboratory science, and what made me pursue attendance in this particular program. So after all of this, I only applied to one program. I submitted my application early in October 2019, and the application deadline was February 1st, 2020. And I received my decision letter 2 weeks later. I did not have to take an entrance exam, nor did I have to do an interview. And I was ranked by my GPAs, so my cumulative GPA, which was all the classes I took in undergrad, and my science GPA, which was all of the prereq math and science courses and labs. From there, they looked at my personal statement, my resume, my letters of rec, just to see if I was a good fit for their program. So yeah, I began classes this summer in a cohort of 11 people. And as far as my next steps, the program director is still prepping everything for our virtual orientation. And she also went ahead and made the decision to have online classes this summer. So I'm excited to meet my cohort and just to see what's in store for us. So that's basically it. Hopefully you found this video informative. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. And please like, comment, and subscribe to keep up with my journey to medical laboratory science.